The Ashford estate had stood for centuries, a monument to tradition and pride nestled deep in the valley of Willow Creek. Its stone walls, thick and cold, had weathered countless storms, yet tonight they felt as fragile as the hearts within. The sprawling grounds, once alive with laughter and the soft murmur of children's games, now lay silent beneath a veil of restless autumn mist. The great oaks lining the driveway groaned softly, their leaves whispering secrets to the wind, secrets that no one dared speak aloud. Amelia Ashford gazed out the window of the dimly lit drawing room, the last rays of a dying sun painting the sky in bruised purples and fiery reds. Her silhouette was framed by the heavy velvet drapes, her posture tense yet graceful. She held a small broken gold watch in her hands, its delicate hands frozen at exactly 5:15. It had belonged to her mother, a gift given on a happier day, a day now swallowed by memory and regret. The room smelled faintly of old books and dust mixed with the lingering fragrance of wilted roses from the vase on the side table. The brittle petals seemed to echo the fragility in Amelia's heart. She pressed her fingertips lightly against the cracked glass of the watch, tracing the frozen hands as if willing them to move forward, to reclaim lost time. Her thoughts drifted, inevitably to Caleb, her younger brother, whose laughter once filled this house like music. 2 years ago, he had been ripped from their lives by an illness no one saw coming, leaving behind a void that swallowed the light and joy whole. Since then, the Ashford family had fractured, the silence between them growing heavier with each passing day. Edward Ashford, her father, sat in the study adjoining the drawing room, hunched over a worn leather-bound journal. His face was etched with lines of grief and regret, his eyes distant and hollow. Once a man of vibrant spirit and warm laughter, he had become a shadow, stern, withdrawn, and haunted by the weight of unsaid apologies. His broad hands trembled as they clutched the pen, unable to write the words that might heal or condemn. In the hallway, Amelia's brother Charles paced restlessly. His jaw was tight, his expression hardened by years of carrying the family's burdens and expectations. He was a man who had learned to mask pain with anger, wielding authority like a shield to protect himself and those he loved. But beneath that armor lay a simmering frustration, a desperate desire to hold together a family slowly unraveling at the seams. Amelia rose quietly and moved toward the grand staircase, her footsteps soft against the ancient wood floor. She paused briefly, the cold weight of a family portrait catching her eye. Her father and brother standing side by side, smiling in a moment frozen in time, before grief had cast its long shadow over them all. Tonight was the Ashfords' autumn gathering, a tradition meant to celebrate unity and gratitude for the harvest. Yet the air in the house was thick with tension, as though the walls themselves braced against a storm yet to come. A sudden knock at the front door broke the fragile silence, startling everyone. The sound echoed down the marble foyer like a summons from the past. The household paused, breaths held. Edward's face tightened with suspicion as a servant hesitated, then opened the heavy oak door. Standing there, framed by the cold, swirling fog, was a man unlike any visitor the Ashfords had ever received. He was dressed in tattered clothes that clung to a lean frame, his boots worn and cracked from long miles. His dark hair was tangled and damp, and his eyes, sharp, clear, and unreadable, held a depth that unsettled even the most composed. "I seek shelter," the man said simply, his voice steady but carrying the rough edges of hardship. "Just for tonight." The servants exchanged nervous glances. Charles stepped forward, his voice sharp. "This is a private estate. We do not harbor vagrants." But Amelia felt a sudden, inexplicable pull at her heart, a mixture of compassion and a stirring curiosity she couldn't explain. Without waiting for her father's permission, she spoke with a calm she didn't feel. "Let him stay." Edward's eyes blazed with fury. "Amelia, this is madness. You do not know this man. He could be dangerous." The stranger met Edward's gaze steadily. "I am no threat. My name is Jonah, and I carry a story that may change everything you think you know." The room seemed to hold its breath. In that moment, the fragile veneer of the Ashford family began to crack, revealing long-hidden wounds and secrets buried beneath layers of pride and silence. Days passed and Jonah became an unexpected presence in the Ashford household. He was quiet but observant, moving with a grace born of hardship. The staff were wary, and Charles watched him with suspicion, but Amelia found herself drawn to his stories, fragments of a life shattered by betrayal, loss, and the search for redemption. One evening, as a cold rain tapped rhythmically against the windows, Jonah sat by the fireplace sharing pieces of his past in a voice low and steady. He spoke of a family torn apart by greed, of a brotherhood severed by silence and betrayal. His words resonated deeply with Amelia, stirring echoes of her own pain and loneliness. Her world shifted again when, in the dusty depths of the estate's library, she discovered a faded photograph tucked inside a leather-bound album. It showed two young men, one unmistakably Jonah, the other her father Edward, standing side by side, smiles bright with the careless hope of youth. The inscription beneath read, "Edward and Jonah, brothers bound by blood and promise." Shock paralyzed Amelia's breath. The man they had taken in as a stranger was, in fact, family. Her uncle, lost to time and tragedy. Confronting her father, she demanded answers. Edward's face crumpled with anguish. "I believed him dead," he confessed, voice breaking. "The night Caleb was born, Jonah vanished. I carried that pain alone." The revelation tore open old wounds, sending shockwaves through the household. Accusations and tears erupted, but amidst the chaos, Amelia reached out to Jonah, seeing in him not a homeless man but a brother wounded yet unbroken. "You're not broken," she whispered one quiet night. "You're becoming." Together, they began the slow work of healing, mending the fractures time and grief had carved. Spring returned to the Ashford estate, painting the gardens with blooms of hope and renewal. The broken watch, once frozen in sorrow, now ticked steadily, on the table. A symbol of time regained and futures reclaimed. Jonah was no longer an outsider but a man reborn, a living testament to the power of forgiveness and the unexpected kindness that binds us all.